So this game finally happened. The Nairobi City Thunder versus the phenomenal Phenoms. So this game was highly hyped, highly anticipated for an exhibition game that had no any league implications. It was just a game where the Nairobi City Thunder, before they started off the year with their league games, they just set up this matchup with the phenomenal Phenoms, and it was lit. The final score 81-67, and the Nairobi City Thunder, they're a legit team. They're a very good team, very well assembled and coached team, and congrats to them with this for this game. And one big takeaway that I've seen that majority of like the coaches and team managers must understand is you can't fix chemistry in an actual game. So going to the phenomenal Phenoms team, you saw it was an amalgam of players from different teams in the league. So there were players from KPA, there were players from the Equity Dumas. I saw a couple of players from the Ulinzi Warriors. I saw a couple of players who play outside. They came in and played here. So you saw it. There were players who have not played together. They have not played together. They were just assembled. Okay, so these players had no chemistry. That's number one. So that was the biggest red flag that I saw, because you can't fix chemistry like that. I have this quote that I like mentioning. It's one thing to put players together. It's another to make them work as a unit. So they had good players on paper. If you looked at their squad, they had all the pieces that show that they're legit. But if you look at their on-court chemistry and even knowing how each player plays, it was such a short time to be able to establish that, because you can't fix it in a day, you can't fix it in a week. You have to. It's something that is continuous. So I looked at it as an Avengers initiative, because every single team that the Thunder has faced, they all lost. And I don't believe there's any team in the country that can be able to beat the Nairobi City Thunder, even with their recent acquisition of Albert Odero, who is by far one of the best players we have in the country. Especially, there's no version of this situation here in this exhibition game where the Phenoms would have come up on top. There was no version of this. The Thunder were cerebral, well coordinated, well coached. They have played together for months now. They're an actual team. The phenomenal Phenoms, I can't say they're a legit team. They are not legit. They are players who are playing for different teams. They have been put together. They have players who met each other a day before this game. So the chemistry wasn't there. Too many individual players from individual teams, and putting them together and making them work as a unit was difficult. And that's the reason Astoy got this result. The Thunder are a legit team. They have played together for the longest time. So anybody who was betting against the Thunder, I'm pretty sure they lost their money at the half, because at some point I was watching the game. It was 35-17. The Thunder started off hot. There was no stopping them at all. And this is actually a big lesson to even the national team who are going next month to Tunisia to play in the AfroBasket 2025. I know majority of the players are going to be derived from the Nairobi City Thunder. We have 7 players who are in the provisional list, and I'm pretty sure the 7 players will be in the national team. So let's say the Thunder, they have 7 players that they have committed to the national team. Then you take a handful from the Equity Dumas, the handful from the KPA Dockers, a handful from the Ulinzi Warriors. Right off the bat, zero chemistry. And this is something that takes time to build, especially knowing each other on the floor. That is one thing that's the biggest lesson that I've seen. And people must understand this, because the whole objective of having players who have played significant games together and have logged significant minutes together is when something happens on the court, the reaction time and knowing what decision to go to. Is it a three? Is it a layup? Is it a mid-range jumper? Who is our strength? Teams that don't have chemistry are not able to establish this, and it becomes quite difficult for them to be able to go ahead and win games. And honestly, I've kept mentioning this, and I've covered this. Even I made a couple of videos talking about the way our national team conducts itself, just the same way as the Phenoms conducted themselves. You saw a situation where there were players who are here locally. You saw there were players who flew in a day before. It gives me the impression of like the way the Morans were playing in the FIBA World Cup qualifiers early 2022 in February. The same vibes. And when I keep mentioning this, I mention it because you can't fix chemistry in a week. And majority of the time, when you are not able to figure the team out and figure what best lineup that you can run, even the coaching, even for the Phenoms, was actually quite difficult. You don't know who plays with who better. You don't know who to play to, who to go to when you need a basket. Okay, you have individual talents that you can tell them, disregard the plays, just go out there and play ball. Because at some point I just felt like they were just out there just playing. The Thunder were much more coordinated. The Phenoms, I felt like they were all over the place. Lack of chemistry. And it's no fault of their own. It came in Prop 2. I know there was a lot of logistics, and especially when it came to the players. But if you know that you're going to have such a situation and play, there should be a way that you're supposed to plan for it, so that you're able to like put up a better performance. I feel like if had this team come in January, like the first week of January, and they started preparing for this exhibition game, it would have been a much better competition. I know there are other leagues around the country that were continuing. In other countries, KBF had not even resumed, but the players were still available. Had they started preparing early, the game would have been much more competitive, because you've seen the Thunder on a complete tear last year. They're yet to play their first regular season game this year, and they started off good with an exhibition game. I know the exhibition game is just for fun, it's nothing too serious, but there are so many things that it exposes and it shows, and there are lessons that you can pick up from this whole situation. And given the way the Phenoms conducted themselves, I can say it's the same way that the Kenya Morans conduct themselves, because that's the same playbook that they used. Because bringing in good players from abroad, bring them from outside, have the local based players, try to scrimmage together, try to show the public, not lie, but show the public that you know what you're doing, put them in the game, get beat by 17 points get beat by a lot of points. So that's the whole thing. Vis-a-vis a team like the Thunder, they have been together, they scrimmage a lot, they have logged the most minutes together. Those players, they know each other, they know what to go to, they know every single player front to back, they know each other very well. So this game was a no-brainer, and anyone who thought the Thunder were going to lose, man, I'm pretty sure if you had put money on it, you have already lost your money if you bet against the Thunder. This was it was an easy game. I feel like they're at a level where they're untouchable right now. I don't think there's any team in the country that can be able to beat the Nairobi City Thunder. About 2 months ago, I made a video talking about the Thunder, and I said the Nairobi City Thunder are the best team in Kenyan basketball, and people must acknowledge that, because it's the truth. Statistically, they are the best. They are 11-0 in the first leg. They have beat the defending champions, and it's not even close, and they beat them on the road. They went to KPA Makani Gymnasium. They beat KPA there by 20 points, something that you have not seen in recent times. They went ahead and beat the Equity Dumas. They went ahead and blew out the Ulinzi Warriors. It was a no contest. So this is a team that is headed for greatness. I know that they don't want to say this, they don't come out and acknowledge it, but I honestly feel they have already set themselves up for a ball push, and hopefully they can have like a Cinderella run, like the way the Dynamo Basketball Club had. So yeah, man. I mean, the sky's the limit for this team, and this is an interesting game. It was a fun game to watch. I loved it. And we got to saw Alberto Dero play for the first time for the Nairobi City Thunder. I hadn't seen him play in an actual game for them, and it was a great signing. And right now they have so many good players on that squad. They have the best, like I said, they have the deepest bench. They are the best starting five, and I feel like the championship is theirs. And I feel like this is going to be an unbeaten season. And I predict they're going to sweep every single team in the postseason. No team can be able to pose a threat to them. And looking at the way they're being coordinated and the way they're organized, I can say they are number one. They're the number one first-class organization in Kenyan basketball. And I don't think any other team can measure up. Not the KPA Dockers. They look mortal now. Not the Ulinzi Warriors. The Ulinzi Warriors have not been great since the 2022 finals. It's like they got knocked out of oblivion by the KPA Dockers, the men's team. They lost it. The Kutidumas have never looked the same since that finals. They got beat by the KPA Dockers last year. I don't think they'll ever get to that point. They can do all the signings they want, but they'll never get to that point. So yeah, man, if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comments what you think about this. I thought about making this video. I just said let me just release my raw thoughts and reactions on this. And shout out to Fallen One, who had an incredible stream, even the post-game pressers. It was great. I just followed it on YouTube, and I just said let me just pop by and just drop a video just talking about this whole situation. Smash that like button, it helps me out a ton. And also you can sign up for my YouTube membership. You can go join there. You can put your card details. Is $1.49, and for that in the first tier of the inner circle. The second tier of the inner circle is $2.49. You can also support the channel through that, and also get access to members only exclusive content that you'll never see anywhere. You'll only see in that when you've already paid for it, because those are the videos that I'll be making where you're gonna see my face in there, and you are going to get like information that I've never posted or even addressed on my channel. So yeah, man, I'm out. Peace.